Okay, for the crew, I'm cruising with Phil. You're at the Pickle Bear at Edmonton Center.
Yeah.
I'm with my first guest of Ward 15, Miss Sheena Sharp.
Sheena Sharp.
We've met before.
We have met before because I'm a repeat offender when it comes to running for office.
I know. So introduce yourself to this camera.
So I'm Sheena Sharp. I'm running for Ward 15, City Council. I have run before, 5 times, because I really think I have something to offer at all levels of life. So,
See what I'm wearing? Get it?
green T-shirt, excellent.
You want to talk about green? Sheena's a candidate I know, and all the people I've talked about green all the way. We can discuss it in your campaign. I've gone through your campaign. Ready to grill you. I told that all the time. And she changed. She got a new hairdo. If you look at her old picture, it's
different. It's different.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't recognize you. You walked in. Yeah. You didn't have your glasses on too. That's good. Yeah. And we have our technician here. He's in the back, and we'll be doing his interview after. His neighbor, yeah. So, how you doing? How's the campaign going?
Yeah. The campaign is going well. It's just starting up, and so like most campaigns, it sort of runs in parallel. You know, signs, money, canvassing, and so everything is going quite nicely.
So how we first met was the first mayor election, 2022.
Yes.
Community Center with Garrett Atkinson, right hand Sarah, Isabella, me, and the 3 of us, and him and the other guy. Came out of the community center, and you're canvassing that area. I said, who are you? I'm Sheena Sharp. I'm running a Ward 15. Okay, another candidate. That's how we became friends. Yeah. And then I've had you in my pod show twice actually. No, twice? Yeah. Twice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're like a veteran of the pod, right?
I'm a veteran of the
So as soon as they asked you to do the pod, and then I see it throughout the years, right?
Yeah.
You're a big fan of Chloe Brown.
I am.
Who's also running as well. Yeah.
And thank you for telling me. Like I thought she wouldn't.
Chloe, she didn't know you were running. What kind of friend is this right now? Chloe's cool. I like it.
She is very smart. She's a
Very
very
smart.
smart woman.
She knows your housing too. So let's talk about you. What's your background? You have something that nobody else has. You like this.
Well, I think everyone's unique, but what I bring
yours
is
is
I'm an
yours.
architect,
Right? Yeah.
So I have been working in housing. I arrived in the city in '87.
Where'd you come from?
I was born in Canada, but my family is in Manitoba. And I went to school in Seattle, Washington. So technically I lived in Vancouver.
I love that city.
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
So is Vancouver.
Oh, I prefer over New York any day.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
quite nice. And so then, because there were no jobs, then it was a different kind of economy. Like Toronto could be hot, and Vancouver could be dead, and vice versa. So Toronto was hot. So I moved to Toronto, and I stayed ever since. So, and I got a job right away. You know, different time, and I've been working ever since, mostly in housing.
What was your first job here?
Pardon?
What was your first job?
I've worked for architects all this time.
Oh, you did it all the time?
Yeah.
So you knew you wanted to be an architect? You did that?
Oh yeah. And you have to go to school for an awfully long time. It's kind of ridiculous.
How long was that? A couple of years?
7 years.
7 years. I'd be a doctor.
I know exactly. It's quite detailed. So I did my undergraduate at University of Manitoba, and I moved to Seattle to do my graduate degree. So.
Wow. It's amazing. And you've had your own company for how many years now?
2003.
And name your company is?
Full of architecture.
I like your
So
logo.
we focus on environmental buildings. And one of the things I'm proud of is that we were co-architects on the Mount Dennis Child Care, which is owned by the City of Toronto. It's the largest child care in their system, and it's net zero.
And it's zero.
And it's really nice. We also looked at embodied carbon because the emissions that it takes to make the materials are also different, right? And so we use heavy timber in Mount Dennis, which is when you get a chance to go into it. I mean, the facility is locked most of the time, little kids, right? You get a chance to go into it. It's got all wood ceilings, like because it's heavy timber. So it just feels really warm.
Do they have like signs like when you go in there, like, this is made of this and this is made of that? Do they
No.
How long was the process from when you started planning it, implementing, and then you get done? What was the time period?
Well, it was a bit unusual because it got built during COVID,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I think we started in 2017 at the very end of the year. We got the contract. There's like the city follows its own rules in planning, right? And we got caught up with a new adjustment that took forever to get through. For various reasons, some of which were city related, like one of the other city departments, right? It took us 8 months to get a hearing, and the Friday before the hearing, they said that they would like to postpone it, right? They didn't have enough time.
8 months.
The whole thing took longer than a year to get through.
Would you?
The whole thing took longer than a year to get through that planning, that one planning process, right? I do find that building permits in the City of Toronto are pretty easy to, like I know some candidates, one of the people who's supporting Brad Bradford was calling for like the chief building official should resign, and I'm thinking like, you don't know, you really should know what the city is about, right? And building permits and planning are two different things. And building permits are very technical, they're health and safety, and if you know what you're doing, and they know what they're doing, they can check it fairly easily. So that's not.
What was it?
It's just some noise on LinkedIn about saying, you know, permits take way too long. You know, we should fire the chief building official. I'm thinking no, you shouldn't. You should know what you're doing because that part of the city is working really well. Don't do that. So,
Okay. So let's, okay, so you studied architect, and so what's your degree exactly? You're an architect?
I have a Master of Architecture, and I have a Bachelor of Environmental Studies.
So you worked for a company first, then you went on your own?
I work for a company that no longer exists called Ryan Wright, and mostly I did shelter housing. And that was really, really useful because I learned how they make decisions, why they make decisions, and find that the economics are pretty narrow. And as I've started to do development consulting for nonprofits, for seniors nonprofits, it is really, really hard to hit that affordability band. And I'm not doing deeply affordable. Like I just bow down and admire all of the people who are doing deeply affordable work. Because you can't make it work. You need grants, and so you need to be asking for money all of the time, right? We can, right now, it's sort of moderately affordable. We can barely make it happen. Like interest rates have gone up, the development charges have come down, HST has come down. All of these things are so important. Just to say, it's not as simple as people. And I really think the city staff needs to in-house and have the kind of expertise so that they can negotiate better. So that they
Like yourself?
understand the deal. No, I would be a counselor.
Yeah. No, but you know your background.
My background, I can definitely,
get in there and you get that
I
kind
can
of,
definitely tell and definitely be able to start to.
You can say, as a counselor, you're just going to sit on the.
No, but as a counselor,
you get that
try,
background and all,
we manage the city, right? But we don't do this.
No.
City staff does
that,
this. And so I would definitely be pushing for more in-house expertise in housing by city staff and more goal-oriented because you can't. Things change. Like we were booming, we had cranes all over the place. Now we have none, right? And that is primarily because of the cost of construction. It went up during COVID and it never came down. And so how do we look at, we have at least 5 housing crises in Toronto, and getting people off the street, the cost of housing for funerals, like like buying shoebox
I saw
condos.
your chart on your platform. Take a look at the price from
Yeah.
1900 to 2500, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. And what that means is people don't have money for the other things that make a city great. For the entertainment, for the,
Yeah.
and yes, there's a lot of great free stuff in Toronto. And we have great parks, and we have great libraries, like all of that stuff. But notwithstanding, people need to have a life. So we have the pulling people off the street, deeply affordable stuff, moderately affordable stuff. Family housing, I'm sorry, we want to have a 3-bedroom. And we don't have family housing at any price
Even the
point.
condos now, they're trying to make a 3-bedroom
It is
condo.
really hard to sell 3-bedroom condos.
It is, yeah.
And if you look at the economics, you see that the dollar value, I'm getting way too technical. You're going to lose a lot of people.
No.
The dollar value for renting a 1-bedroom per square meter is higher than a 3-bedroom. So when you're doing a development process, it's always tempting to say, okay, we're going all 1-bedrooms, guys, because I've seen developments that would propose 10,000 1-bedroom units. I'm thinking, what kind of community is 10,000 1-bedroom units? That's not what we need. But even people who have household incomes of $200,000, they can't afford 3-bedrooms. There are some places in Toronto where you could buy a house on that salary for almost enough. And so then if you start to look at the stats, you see people who are leaving Toronto, the highest demographic in Toronto are children. So they're not leaving by themselves. Their parents have started a family and want to grow, and their kids are getting bigger, and they can't afford anything in Toronto. And so the communities around us, and good for them, Peterborough and London and Guelph and these communities around us are picking up talent.
You said before that you step up communities.
Yeah.
So like condos, I watched a little news bit a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Family of 3 in a condo. But I said they have no support. Meaning there's no daycare, there's no parks, there's no, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They have a condo, they have a swimming pool there, but that's it.
They usually don't get a swimming pool anymore.
No, you don't know.
The new ones, you get a party room.
One of my friends, Dave, he has his sister.
Yeah.
They get just by Scarborough Center, right across from the YMCA.
Yeah.
She has an old condo, 4-bedroom condo, 3 bathrooms. That's the way back.
Yeah.
She's had it for many
That's
years.
how we used to build it. And you can absolutely raise a family.
And right there's the mall, and there's
like
parks over
that.
there.
Everything is there, right? Thorncliffe Park, which is in my ward,
Yep.
was originally built as luxury houses, right? And they have fantastic access to, maybe I shouldn't say that. They might not want everyone moving to Thorncliffe Park. But they have fantastic access to
They got a
parks.
beautiful pond there too, right?
They just
right.
got the new, they will have a stop on Ontario.
Oh,
That's coming in, right? So, but, those kind of older buildings, definitely the economics were different. And so when you look at the economics we have now, and you look at condos, I have nothing against towers. But I do have something against 10,000 1-bedroom units. How are we?
There must be a lot of single bars around there.
Okay, so it comes with its own set of.
What's the size of these units? 700 feet? What larger than that?
Oh no, the 1-bedroom units that we're building now are like 500,
500 feet, yeah. We took you downtown.
Which is not a bad size for a 1-bedroom. Like if you go to like 450.
Well, one of my friends, like I know downtown, a small unit.
Yeah.
His living room and his bedroom is my bedroom. That's the size of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
You know?
And so how do we do this? And one of the ways we do this is we can, the cost of planning approvals, as I was talking about earlier, is really high because it's less certain, so it's more risky, and it can take up to a year. So when we say as of right, what we mean is you don't need planning approval, you only need health and safety from the building department, not what does this thing look like and is from the planning department, right? So if we can, the cheapest, interesting statistic, okay?
So your platform?
Yes. You might go,
I'm just checking.
just saying, half the rental apartments in Toronto are in the low-rise neighborhood.
Yes, that's true. Very true.
And this is actually one of the cheapest ways to get housing. And it's frankly the only way that I could afford to get. I live in a one-bedroom apartment that is the upper floor of a house. And it's big enough for me. It is great, in fact. And I own the house.
Oh, you own the house?
Oh, I own the house. So I rent out the bottom 2 floors, okay, as a single apartment. So that was the only way that I could afford to buy a house in my day, right? And what is the advantage of a house? It has so many ramifications. Like, my landlord can't throw me out. The bank might be able to.
You also have an attic like you, then you're out.
Exactly. Sheena, I'm throwing you out. But the landlord, and tenure is one of the most important things. As we have seen, tenure is one of the most important things in housing, right? There's being renovated, and then there's being renovated when you're 80, right?
Me and Mom, right? Renovated right there.
There you go.
Perfect example.
This is really, really tough, right? And so, and also, I've been able to use the house to borrow money every now and then when I needed it for the business. Because businesses, I want a stable business. I've kept the number of people that I employ has slowly gone up. We're a great little team, right? And the next generation is ready to take over. But that house has enabled me to do that. I would argue that this is good for society, right? And it's also, if you have an existing house and you renovate it, that is the cheapest dollar per square meter for a new.
You know, a lot of new houses too that come with finished basement. They gear it to like a
They gear
rental.
it to being able to
rentals,
have rental income, right? And that is so I don't think we should overlook that, and because that's what Toronto is right now, guys. And I think that on the main streets adjacent to the single-family homes or multi-family homes, small mini apartment buildings, like 6-story buildings should be as of right.
Yeah.
Like if you can developers can make the numbers work. And
But what's your passion? Developing those 5-6-story buildings or the condo? The condo take longer, right? Those can be done. They said they could. What? You're the architect.
as I said,
How many could you put up in a year? Those 5-level buildings right now. We should say.
you know what? It's not really like that because you just use more people to put up a bigger building.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
But
it
I'm just
tends
saying
to
for
take.
like
So you can do, if you are cooking, you can probably do a 6-story in a year.
and
But you would be, the contractor would be like right on the money.
yeah. But how many say could you put up in less than 1 year?
No, it's like, it's unlimited. The point is that the market will vary, okay? And I consider it's kind of like waiting for the stars to line up. And when the this is why we have booms and busts in condo, right? The stars line up, they start putting projects together, they start selling, they start building, and hopefully, at some point, the bottom falls out of the market.
And which is, right?
Which it has right now. That's the point that we're in right
Did
now.
it say last year 69% lower market value for condos or something like that?
Yes, and that's because there were so many a glut on the market, right? Because essentially they were hoping that this parade would go on forever. It never has. It dies every 20
The greed
years.
back then, you find hundreds of people line up for just one condo, bidding on
Exactly.
Now
exactly.
you can just walk in.
Now you can just walk in and say,
come back.
"Hey,
They come back here. Go buy
this
your
could
dinner.
be
Come
mine."
back. You know? Yeah.
So that, I mean, the market is there, but we have to ask ourselves, like, for the first time when we're knocking on doors, there are vacancy signs, and we've been saying them for over a year.
Half the pipe you can't smoke.
There's a lot of vacancy signs, and that's okay. But we have to look at housing as a 20-year thing, not as, oh, it's okay, let's go do something else now, right? The city has to prepare, and I think that we should be looking at nonprofit owners, because nonprofit owners keep the cost
Only
down.
like people what was nonprofit. Some people are.
So it's not the developer. So the developer essentially builds it. He takes it from zero to apartment.
Yeah.
And then the owner operates it. Okay? So if a nonprofit, which often they're associated with religious institutions, for example, they have bylaws. They're a corporation. They're a private corporation, but they're certain tax status, which is good. They have their bylaws say you're only allowed to charge rent to cover costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see quite a
So
few
at the beginning, because they have land, and they said, okay, we're going to do this because it's churches have an ethical goal, right? So what happens is that at the beginning, a nonprofit and a for-profit will be about the same price. But as you start to pay off the mortgage, the nonprofit price will not go up that much, but the for-profits will. So if you have enough nonprofits in the market, in the housing stock, they can keep costs down because there's less vacancy rates, right? What we are experiencing right now, and we're experiencing right now in my ward at number 2 and number 4 mile So there's an existing small apartment building.
No, you're not.
So they want to take it down. So these are the small apartment buildings that are cheap, that provide the cheap housing stock for Toronto that we depend on as support for our economy. Right? So they're going to take it down. And the thing about these older buildings is that they often have older people in them, right? So the fastest growing demographic in Toronto shelters is seniors. And so there's being rent-evicted, and then there's being rent-evicted when you're 80, right? Those are two different experiences. And when you can't hack and have a strong back and try to figure out, you have to go through this whole emotional thing about which half of my memories am I throwing out, right? All of that stuff, right? It's just so we need to, this is why I'm saying we really need to look at the one-story and two-story, and yes, there's some jumps there, and yes, the one-story and two-story commercial properties do the same thing for small business that the older buildings do for housing. And so you'll find cheaper rents in older small businesses. But we need to be able to try to keep our older housing stock and put in some new lower rise, because the price of construction falls at 6 stories, at 6-story wood frames. It's like 15-20% less. That's the biggest cost. So if we can start to, and we can't do this, the city can't do this by ourselves. The city has to look at what's out there, look at what the development community wants to do, and say, this is kind of what we are going to prioritize. Right?
Well, can developers work with the nonprofit, or
they can.
Yeah.
Developers don't care who owns it at the end. They don't.
Yeah.
Like, it should be, the people who are buying it want to buy it at a decent price.
Yes.
But somebody wants to buy a rental building to manage it, like, the development itself is a very special skill. And it's quite risky, and it's crazy, right? Because there are so many things that can change. You have a project that is going to take you like 4 years, 5 years from beginning to end. Do you think interest rates are going to stay stable during that period? No. Is construction going to stay stable? No. It's like, so it is a very volatile.
It's a locked-in entity, like they got a fixed entity price when you start with a condo or something.
Phil, you are so smart.
I don't know. I got it from you. All those interviews you've had.
CMHC does.
You've educated me. See?
CMHC does exactly that.
But she kicked me under the table. Not forgetting. Kidding.
CMHC does exactly that. They lock in the interest rate at the beginning of, before you've even started construction. So they lock in the interest rate, which means that that whole period of construction, you have certainty, which is important.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to your platform. I know I've done your. Oh, I like your cartoon pictures. Did you get that from me for my platform? I did all this. I did sketching of it. I liked
No,
it. I liked
have,
it.
yeah, we have someone who's good at that.
Oh, they did that? Yeah.
All the skills we have, the skills we show up through the door, we use those skills.
I like how each one you had like a sign up for each section.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that part.
I want people to tell me what they think about each part. So please go to my website, sheenasharp.ca, and click on one of those issues, and then tell me what you think. But I think you'll notice the big issue is climate ready city.
Thank you so much.
The big issue is climate ready city. Climate ready city.
Is that your first thing on your platform?
That's the first thing I'll talk about. Why is that? Because the intergovernmental scientists are pointing out that if you are 5 years old today, not some future distant generation, but
I was going to chart right now.
you're 5-year-olds today, you have many options, but there's two options, two futures for our 5-year-olds who exist and are alive in Toronto right now. Two futures for our 5-year-olds. One is to stabilize the climate where it is right now. The other is the path that Canada is heading, which is to double. Double the floods, double fires, double the droughts. Like, if you think you have it tough, when 5-year-olds are 50, they are going to have it really.
Well, when you track,
that comes straight from
you have your track
science.
1900 starts blue.
Yeah, and then it slowly goes
and then
through.
2023, by 2030, 2060 actually.
Yeah, by 2060,
Two choices like before.
when our 5-year-olds are in their prime, they could be facing tremendous conditions, right? And what does it take to stabilize the climate? We need to electrify the city in 15 years, 1-5. Toronto has the right goal, but Toronto doesn't have the right mechanism. And to be fair, a bunch of reasons. To be fair, no support from the province or the federal government. Like,
I thought they were implementing like the new, the building, just like recent plans and all that. One way of greenwashing is to announce something that is way too small for the problem. Okay? So the federal government every now and then announces subsidies for electrifying buildings, right? And the subsidies run out sometimes within 2 weeks. They're not looking at, this is how many buildings we have. We need to do like 8% of our buildings per year for the next 15 years. Well, you did your building, right?
I did.
So let's say an example. We talked about before. So let's take before and after.
Yeah.
So you lay your buildings running back in. You didn't convert phones to electric. What would the cost be then? And let's see a building that before you convert it. What's the difference?
The utility costs are almost the same.
Yeah.
Now I did do a deep energy retrofit. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
My house was very old. It had the original. It was 100 years old, and it had the original windows in it. Okay. So they had shrunk. And they were single pane. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So it was worth upgrading, putting a warm sweater on. But you only do that maybe once every 15 years.
Can I ask how much you spent for all that?
I spent $150,000.
Just so.
Wait, you do not have to do
Spend
that.
that,
This is my point. That is the expensive part. I did that because my windows, I could hear the Eglinton Crosstown construction like I was sleeping in the hole.
Yeah.
Right? I got triple pane windows, and it's like all that stuff went away. And so, but that.
We're getting to noise pollution now.
So
you know
exactly.
Ingrid. You know Ingrid. Ingrid DeBay, Name the Nice Toronto, presented that whole group there.
Oh, okay.
I thought you haven't met her? Why?
I could have.
Yeah.
But
She's great.
the point is more you don't have to do that. Do that if you have a window problem. I had a window problem, right? But all you really have to do is I took out my gas furnace, I put in a heat pump. That's all I had to do. And that with my hot water tank is probably around 15,000 together. And I got an energy recovery ventilator at the same time. And in that 15,000. So because all I did was take out the furnace and using the same ductwork attach a heat pump to it. So I now pay about the same amount as I used to pay, but instead of paying some to Enbridge and some to Toronto Hydro, I now pay all Toronto Hydro. So Toronto Hydro is getting extra money out of me. I imagine they're getting extra money out of everyone else who does this too. So people say, where is the money going to come from? It's going to come from the money we don't give to Enbridge. And we have literally 15 years, and we owe it to 5-year-olds to do this. We have all the technology. And you can say, well, Premier Ford will never let us do that. Well, let's make him look us in the eye and say, I'm not going to let you save 5-year-olds. Let's make him stand up and do that. And let's plan, there's a lot we can do. City of Toronto, you, the citizens of Toronto, own an electricity company. We can do a lot in preparation through the fact that we own Toronto. So yes, we buy power from Ontario Power Generation. Yes, there's lots of deals that we have to make. But we are players in it, and we can do that.
So we have time to get our, can we meet our 2040 target for green zero? Green zero?
Maybe 2042.
42? Yeah?
If we actually started.
Yeah.
If we actually did something.
I understand, back then they said what years it was signed, the green emissions, or zero emissions, the target, I think the target was 2030 of you back then.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they changed that.
And they changed it. These targets are not like bragging rights targets. Well, they're targets that are connected to science. Yeah. And we need, and yes, it's kind of approximate 2038, 2042, but 2050 is not part of that deal.
What's in your decade? By 2050, it's 10 to 2060.
Yeah, and the later we start, the more we
Anything else, please, Ollie?
So it's so important that we do this and that Toronto focuses on it. And I think we need more city councillors who have a vision and who care about the whole city, how the city works as a system, and then look at their own wards and say, how does my ward fit into this? And looking at your own ward and the variety within your own ward gives you a sense of how different people will be affected by some of these policies, right? Like Ward 15, like Drake lives in our ward, okay?
Drake's in your ward?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Is he fuel efficient like that?
I don't know, I don't think so. But I understand he has that goal, I understand. But, you know, I'm not in that expert.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. But even like you just said, you're in council, right? So the government has courses to educate the council to be more fuel efficient. Take these courses, you get educated when you're in council as well. Take the course, you come back to the council, and you present these ideas with the learning, right?
You know what?
What do you think of that?
I don't think so.
No?
I think you need people with different backgrounds.
Like your background, like you're saying, like.
Yeah, but it's taken us 40 years to really understand.
But that's before you started recycling way back. Right? You talked about when I was on the ship. I think you mentioned in our movie back in the 80s, we were recycling on the ship.
Yes.
You could not dump anything off.
Can't dump anything in
And we had to recycle everything was recycled. Food, whatever was left over, became desserts, whatever. And we came to port. We had like a seminar from the ship from way down all the way to the port deck to the garbage bin. Right, like a seminar. Right? And it's illegal to if we didn't have a septic tank and we get to port, we could not use the water. We had to go off port. On port. Yeah. Well, I knew about recycling way back, and I didn't make jokes like, hey, we should do recycling Toronto. You're full of it. Like here we are. Now we're recycling.
But recycling is part of, so when we talk about emissions, we talk about Scope 1, your own emissions.
Yeah.
Scope 2, emissions from the power that you're using. And Scope 3, emissions from goods and services. Right? So really, goods and services is something that we have to work in conjunction with the federal and the provincial.
Talking about like products and all like that?
I'm talking about products. I'm talking about product standards. Like the thing.
Sorry, you interrupted me. You mentioned this earlier. You pointed out about the straws.
Yeah.
You have paper straws, but in the hospital you still have plastic, right? It defeats the purpose.
And we just throw those away. So getting that to work is really like the province controls recycling. The city delivers, right? The province controls housing. They are responsible for housing. The city delivers, right? So they control healthcare. The city delivers some. The community stuff the city delivers, right? The hospitals the province delivers. So we have, unless the stars line up, all levels of government are going in the same direction. We don't get stuff done in Canada.
No, we don't.
Right? We don't. But let's not get. I don't believe when people say, well, if we're doing a little bit, we're going in the right direction. No, we're not.
No.
Because 5-year-olds are going to live in hell if we go like 3 steps in the right direction instead of, or 2 steps in the right direction when we need to be going like a kilometer.
Well, look at the smoke from the fires not too long ago, right?
How can we be running a municipal election in the middle of
Well,
smoke?
I said, like in time,
Yeah.
why are you doing concern about election and getting votes but concerned about the environment? Right there. Yeah.
Why are we not looking at that, right?
And every car like my car was covered in dust after that.
Yeah, it was, and
Like, you know, it's like when I lived in Washington, they had Mount St. Helens afloat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it felt
Yes.
like. It's like the mountains of gold. I went to the park and I was sitting there like 4 hours. Like, what is this? You know, perfect example.
Yeah.
I see some of the documentaries, some of them far-fetched, whatever. But let's get back into your second part, your second platform.
I think.
Oh, you finished with the first one?
No, I am, and I think that the rest of them, I have. One of the things that I'm pushing back against is just this like government by hot take, right?
I like the language of Ontario Place. You're an architect, so
I'm an architect.
say it right now. Did the building collapse? Was the roof collapsing?
No, it was not collapsing.
Architect right there,
It was
certified
not collapsing.
architect.
And you read.
And you're not on the government payroll either.
No, but you read the engineering report. It said this is what you have to do to repair it, right? It's gone through a major snowstorm. It's fine, right?
And you
it's a huge building. They said these little parts here. So I think one of the things that we need to do.
Are they planning to demolish it?
Nobody knows.
Yeah. But you said you had to get in. Let's use the building for other things.
Let's use the building for other things. And I think that their support, like.
Can you put the
Pause? All right. You're saying?
So government by hot take, like people who say, oh, we should pay less taxes. Oh, we should put traffic calming on all the streets. Oh, we should no, we should give the amount of taxes that it costs
Exactly.
for the services that we want. And like, we should pay, yes.
Oh, what am I talking about? The science center.
The science
Yeah,
center.
you're there. You're talking about,
Okay.
The roof is fine, right?
The roof is fine, and it's a huge building.
It is.
And so really, what can we do with that building? I know that there is support on council.
How come they didn't make it a historical site? It's like a Louis architect,
Famous
Louis design.
architect.
Yeah.
Famous architect, brutalist style.
Yeah.
Fine example of brutalist style.
Is that just one of a kind, right? In the city?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
does that mean that not saving our heritage sites?
Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Oh, we don't?
No.
Well,
the government, even the federal government, just stopped
They say
funding the
trees.
historic register. We say trees.
They say a Paramount student, kids with a big frame on universities, no, blurred. You see that, you know? Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Not the science center.
I know.
But I think, it's a huge building. It would cost a fortune to get that amount of space again.
Yeah.
So the question is really, can we have an economic piece? Like buildings survive. If you look at buildings over like centuries, buildings survive because they find new uses.
Exactly.
And so,
And in your platform, you said we have some uses for that building.
well,
Which is great. Eh?
I think
You don't
what
even
we
thought
need
about
to
that.
do, we need to inspire people, and to give credit to John Burnside and that.
John Burnside?
Yeah.
You said at my table?
Josh, Matt, I couldn't,
Another
what?
one? Oh my God.
Josh,
Stop that film. I'm
Matt,
kidding.
John
They're good guys. They are
Burnside
good guys. I'll drink to
ran
that.
a community consultation on what to do with the science center.
They're good guys. I'm
okay?
kidding. I like it.
So so I think that that's a jumping off point. I think we have to push that, and so I would be another vote on that side to push that whole idea of what we can do with the science center. And I was just suggesting, like, you know, this is a lot of like, why don't we have a music museum and like classes for making music instrument library,
People don't realize, you probably know
classes.
yourself, there's a big basement there.
There's a huge basement there. There's-
The Grom has one too.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
greenhouses, there's all sorts of great stuff there, right? And so I'm not saying that we have to do that. I'm saying we have to go out there and see if we can find our match. Find a
So is it a done deal now? It's going to be,
It's not a science center.
no,
Listen,
it's going to be, like, no, they're going to make new science here downtown?
that's a done deal.
So, but that's,
I would say that's a
okay,
done
so
deal.
so instead of trying to fight it, why we fight to preserve it and use it for something else, like you say, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do.
I think we need to do it, yeah. In
Because-
reality, right?
As I read it, and maybe I'm wrong, but as I read it, the province has made $1 billion deal for a new science center. $1 billion.
Right downtown, right?
Yeah.
Hence traffic.
This was going to cost pennies to fix the roof. Right now we have $1 billion, and which is really hard to get to, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what? It's like the premier's signature thing. So it seems to me like he's going to die on that hill. So whatever, what can we do with the science center? How can, because it's an integral part of our, like the community
Where
work.
that, where it's located, the garden area, the 4C, or
It's right-
Ever Gardens and all that? Is it?
Oh no, it's to the south.
Yeah.
So if you go to Don Mills and Eglinton, to the south of that,
Yeah,
is the
but that's
science
part of that
center.
whole green area, that whole pathway, you know?
There is, it's backs into the ravine, which is why we can't put housing there.
I was getting a
because
kick
it
out when I
will
was a kid
flood.
watching that bridge, see how big it's built. That's all part of the ecological system now.
Exactly.
And I said that. But I even when I went to the
Exactly.
Ontario place for all, in the science center seminar,
Yeah.
you couldn't get access to, like, have you done an ecological study how this building's going to affect by taking it out of all the environment, the system? Well, look at it with the trees. Ontario place, all those trees off oxygen, all gone.
Are all gone. And, but you look at the science center; it's an integral part of our community. Like Flemington Park and Berkeley Park, they go back and forth between being where the boundaries are drawn. Right? So the science center is just outside Ward 15, but it is in the same ward federally,
No.
and so. That this is, it's a hole in the community right now. So we have to figure out how to find a new use for that hole. That's what we have to do. And it's like the province owns it, but the city owns it. So the city has some say, as much as the city can have say in what is going to happen there. So we'll see.
Well, so the old building, the old city hall inside the Senate place.
Also
The city
looking
took-
for,
Well, I'm not gonna say who took my idea in this presentation now, but it was my idea for you.
Yeah.
Back in 2020, by election, I said let's put in a resource center that people can learn where the culture food.
okay, is that what they're doing?
Well, that was my idea.
Okay, good,
But
congratulations.
then, like, no, that was back in 2020, back in the, by like the,
Yeah.
like, for example, how the black community, how the Greek community, this is the building, because you only go in archive, that's what funny occasion, right? People come to our country, go, like, how did the black community go? How did the Greek town? How did that, all this? Here's a building, you can go and see the history. And you can also have workshops, presentations, you have music, you can turn that building stuff like that, just like a science center. So I did that idea back then, and then some council took my idea and presented it to the zone. I won't say who it is, but you mentioned his name earlier. He's known for that.
Yes.
Nasty man. He's a good guy. I know. Yeah, I actually texted him on Instagram. Thanks, that's a great idea. I had that back in my back and send my platform. I say we're fun. Oh, thanks for your support. I'm not giving you a support. It was hilarious. If people were like, "Oh, that's great. I saw your platform. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, you had that idea. Oh, I didn't need it. Oh," and even Lyle Sanders, who I interviewed, had the same idea before I even met him about doing that. The same thing. Just something I did in my interview with him. Yeah, Mayor to be. Yeah. So back in go back to your platform here. Yeah.
I just think most of the platform, there are 7 issues. They will be expanded to 10 issues, maybe even 13. But the general thrust of this is that we need to pay what it costs. Yes, we need to do things efficiently, but efficiency can really easily turn to not doing the same quality of job, right? Which just hurts us all. It's definitely, like every time you can get the city on the phone, that's millions and millions of dollars that citizens are paying sitting on hold, right? And I'm not actually think 311 works. It's one of the things I think works really well in the city, right? But we need to have the services that are the right level.
I pulled a 311 I was going down Ellsworth from the mall, and there's a little coyote I run over on the other side going east, and I played 2 coyotes crossing in front of our car, so we all slowed down. So I phoned 311 to call. I don't know who the guy was. Must have an update. He goes, after I said reported where is it? Is that it? I go, no, what do you want me to find another animal or something? It's just the way he said, is that it? I said, yeah, that's it. Just required to go pick it up, please. You know, it's kind of a traffic jam. And it's sad to see, just sad to see things like that. But as for yourself, if you get elected, do they have any environmental committees? I mean, they have every other kind of committee. They do? Okay.
Yeah, energy and environment. And also Toronto Hydro. Toronto Hydro gets a councillor.
You ever get consultation from Toronto Hydro yourself?
I have worked for them.
Yes. So I heard they're on their list.
Yes. I have worked for them.
And how do I know that?
I don't know how you know that.
Do my homework. Look at your face.
I have worked for them.
Yeah. And I think you're highly regretted. And you're like the architect green version of that, right? And then Karen Smith, who does housing. Right? So, you know Karen Smith too, right?
I do not know personally. No, I'm just an architect, man. I just hang out and draw things, right?
So why are architects not exactly the easiest thing to do? It's very difficult. It is.
It's really difficult.
But you put that on your ring and you got your own company. Why that? Out of all the things you pick. What?
I decided to be an architect when I was 8 years old.
Do you like ancient architecture and all that?
Yeah, somewhat. I like architecture as I like the functionality of architecture. I like making things work for people, for businesses, for the public. Just being able to, it's a problem-solving exercise. Like, because buildings are the most expensive things people will spend money on. And so it kind of matters. And there's not very many architects, by the way. There's less than 20,000 of us.
Get that architect survey?
What?
They said I think all the Americans get an architect survey.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys get the voice get it. You don't look at it. Some of the Architects Society of Ontario or Toronto, I think it is.
Toronto, no, I
haven't.
Said,
I got it the first time. They go, "What's the questions?" Like, I said, I don't know any technical, but I should have called you. I didn't know you back then. I would have called you for the survey. I thought, you give me all the examples. What are you going to do? I go, I don't know. Put a rock there. I don't know. Put a building there. Not being naive, but it's just funny.
We are our own little.
Yeah.
Because it's really specialized. There's only 20,000 of us in Canada.
I heard you're international too.
Coolers, we are not.
Coolers?
Yeah.
No, your name is not the.
Oh.
Your name is no.
I think that's.
If you go to the top 100.
That's a distant cousin.
No, your name's not there. Did you go to the top 100 architects and firms or
oh, it's not me. But no.
Why did I see your name on there?
I don't know. Yeah.
It says Sheena Sharp and the old hairdo.
No. No.
Oh, I do my homework. Yeah, you're no, because I had heard of your name way before, a long time ago. I've heard your name because my dad was an electrician.
Okay.
He was an electrician, worked for Ontario Place before it became Metro Housing, and I went way back in the realm.
We're a small community.
Yeah. But you make you have an impact on a lot of people, right?
Yeah, there's an impact on a lot of people, but explaining what we do is often really hard.
Yeah, it is. But you explained it pretty good here. Yeah. So we got anything else from your partner you want to discuss? Everything good?
No, I think it's good. I think we don't want people to spend like hours doing this. And so I think those are the top things.
Okay. So before we go, what are your hobbies you do?
Hobbies?
Yeah. Besides drawing pictures.
I read a lot.
Oh, you like reading? Yeah.
I like reading about economics. So I do that. I don't, you know,
What are
when
you reading right now?
I also read a lot about Buddhism.
Oh, are you Buddhist?
Probably you could say that, yes. So, so I read
So we can
that.
rub Abraham's belly for good luck?
What?
We can rub Abraham's belly for good luck? Just kidding.
So I don't, I have to admit when I started the business 20 years ago, like on my own, I stopped doing a lot of hobbies. I used to paint, I used to
Oh, yeah?
So I cycle, I sometimes hang out with friends, and I read. That's about what I do.
Okay. So keep it casual and easy going, right?
Pretty casual,
Anything else you want to add? So before you press the button, I'm going to have you look at the camera and say, Sheena Sharp, why should they vote for you? Tell them why.
You should vote for me because you need my skills on city council. You should vote for me because you need my skills on city council. We need lots of different people on city council and people who have done things in their lives and they want to bring all that knowledge to help us run the city. So that's why you should vote for me.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Okay.
All done?